The most macho fighter in boxing. Those demonic black coal eyes.
Hands of Stone, Roberto Durán.
Roberto Durán brings an intensity and a fire into the ring, unprecedented in ring history of South America. He's one of the meanest looking fighters inside the ring, and he means it.
They were very poor, so he had to go out every day, try to make, a living and sell newspapers or whatever, just to get by.
To understand the man they called Manos de Piedra, hands of stone, you have to understand where he was forged. He wasn't born in a gym, he was born in the House of Stone, a Panamanian slum where survival was the only currency. Before he was a king, he was a hustler, a boy selling newspapers and shining shoes just to eat. At 16, he turned professional. He didn't just win, he decimated. By the time he was 21, he walked into Madison Square Garden and snatched the lightweight title from Ken Buchanan.
Champion, Ken Buchanan of Edinburgh, Scotland, and the challenger, Roberto Durán of Panama City, Panama.
The champion, he's wearing flag champ, Ken Buchanan, 15 more for the lightweight championship of the world.
Challenger is working on a percentage. Yes, it is. Johnny scores at a knockdown.
I don't know of any other fighter who was quite that wild in the ring, and yet he was in control of himself as a boxer.
Duran almost as fresh as when he started. Now Duran, the challenger, is just dynamite with his right hand. Round 13. Buchanan went down after the bell, holding his groin. The fight has been stopped. The fight has been stopped, and the winner, 21-year-old Roberto Durán of Panama.
In Panama, the victory was so massive they declared a national holiday. The reign of the most aggressive fighter in history had begun. For 5 years, the lightweight division was a dictatorship. Duran defended his crown 12 times, amassing a record that seemed impossible.
You are a great defensive fighter, and I don't think people talk about that often. But you were able to stand in the pocket and make people miss you. And that was part of your offense, was having such a great defense.
Duran is called, if we read the sports pages here, one of the toughest punchers for his weight. He's a brawler, street fighter. Somebody said it's like being hit by a rock to be hit by this guy.
Duran is called Hands of Stone, and he can really rip you. The left hook is his big one. Greats like Joe Louis, all of those great fighters from the 30s, Roberto Durán has qualities of each one. And here you're talking about a fighter that's only 20 years old, and you're comparing him with some of the greats of all time, the Robinsons, as you said, the Lewises and the Alis. Shows you what a great fighter he is. Harry Greb, all of those maulers, fighters, men that stood right in front of you like he's doing now. He knows he's got this man in charge. He is punishing him. Hands of steel, hands of stone. Either way, he is one of the heaviest punchers for a little man that's ever been seen. You're trying to take his home and his money and his wife when you get in the ring with him, he says. You got to kill him.
I think his first loss was to Esteban de Jesus. He lost a 10-round decision.
Only one man could touch him in his prime, Esteban de Jesus. Their rivalry was the emotional core of his early career. De Jesus handed him his first loss, but Duran was a man who never forgot. He hunted De Jesus down twice more, knocking him out both times to become the undisputed king.
The scene is Panama City. There's better than 15,300 on hand for this lightweight title. It is a big fight. It is revenge in the heart of Duran to stop this man for the lightweight championship of the world. Roberto Duran against Esteban de Jesus. De Jesus, calm, collected. Duran, hands of stone, ready to come out, looking. And the bell for round one. Another one! Believe it! I can't believe it, he's down from a hook. A perfect hook. They're both exchanging savage hooks. That's toe-to-toe action.
He rematched against De Jesus and knocked out De Jesus back in the days when they went 15 rounds.
Oh, almost put down De Jesus from the same punch that put Duran down in round one. A devastating left hook. Barn burner so far, and it doesn't show any signs of letting up.
He knocked De Jesus out in Panama, outdoors.
He's down from the right hand. The count is being picked up. He looks like he's not getting up. He's sitting down there very comfortable. He's not getting up. He cannot. It's all over. It's over. They have awarded it to Roberto Duran. He keeps his title. Roberto Duran, the victor in his hometown in Panama.
But a lion can't stay in a small cage forever. Duran vacated the title and moved to welterweight, hunting even bigger game.
Clancy, Duran looks to me to be a little heavy around the waist. I wonder how fit he is for this fight.
He would see a right hand coming and just ride with it.
And then return fire.
Yeah, come right back.
And then he could tie you up in the inside, tie one arm up, work you over, spin you around,
turn you
pivot.
Duran from Madison Square Garden in New York, round 8. Scheduled for 10. Duran just standing in there flat-footed now, measuring. Whoop, down he goes. A hard left to the body. Left hook to the liver. That's it. It's all over. Arthur McCandy says, sorry, Monroe. You've really had enough. It was a left to the body.
Nobody wanted to fight him. There were no opponents, and they would wait for him to get weighed and then try to make a fight. Nobody will spar him.
Roberto Duran hardly needs any advertisement. The undisputed lightweight champion of the world. He outgrew in weight the lightweight classification. He's moved on upward to this, the welterweight classification. Regaled by the press, and deservedly so, as the fighter of the decade of the 70s. 70 fights in all, 69 victories.
By 1980, Duran had 69 victories. He was the unstoppable force. His target, the American darling, Sugar Ray Leonard.
I think that after this particular fight, the press will realize that the guys that they say Sugar Ray can't deal with, or this guy's too strong for Sugar Ray, Sugar Ray can't punch, Sugar Ray has not been in the ring with anyone that is a legitimate fighter, these statements I will be able to silence completely, once and for all.
Sugar Ray Leonard fights with a flair, and Roberto Duran, who fights with a fury, square off tomorrow night in Montreal for the WBC welterweight title.
Leonard defending against the challenger Roberto Duran.
In their first fight in Montreal, Duran dragged Leonard into the trenches. He bullied the Golden Boy, outworked him for 15 rounds, and took his belt and his pride.
Airball.
He was Roberto Durán against the undefeated, ever popular Ray Leonard. Beats him.
Sugar Leonard was a welterweight. He got beat by Roberto Duran.
The new champ signed autographs and talked to friends in Midtown Manhattan. Roberto Duran, hero and giant killer.
But the victory led to the super fight setup. Leonard began watching Duran's sparring sessions. He saw a champion who was partying, gaining weight, and taking more hits than usual. Leonard convinced himself he was fighting a man in decline. Leonard was confident. He wanted a rematch immediately. He didn't realize that even a declining Roberto Duran was still the most dangerous animal in the world.
I forget, I think he was close to 40 pounds.
And so Ray demanded that the rematch be in 6 weeks. So, Duran is in New York just partying it up for like 3 weeks. they call him from Panama, say, hey, you gotta come and train and fight. You're fighting in 3 weeks. And he was close to 200 pounds.
From Roberto comes and making that little bit of money, fighting as a lightweight for all them years and not making millions, he wasn't gonna pass it up.
But this guy gains weight and loses weight faster than anybody this side of Tommy Lasorda.
If he was out of training after a fight, he'd put on tremendous amounts of weight. I mean, 30, 40 pounds over what he should be fighting.
He doesn't like to train anymore.
90 pounds, but he catches a right and left, lands all right. That's the Sugar Ray Leonard punch that drew the crowd. These two men do not like each other.
The rematch in New Orleans wasn't a fight. It was a psychological execution.
7 to 200.
Leonard came to fight then, as you said, Larry, confidence personified.
Very confident. And if he can do this for 15 rounds, then you have a new champion.
Leonard didn't punch, he taunted, he stuck out his chin, he mocked the legend.
Doing a little dodging now and a little Ali. He's taunting Duran.
And he's got Duran openly, not just furious, but puzzled. He is taunting Duran. Duran troubled by the movement.
He said when the Sugar Ray started clowning around, he said, that's it. There's going to be a third fight. And in the third fight, I'm going to be the real me again.
Then, the unthinkable happened. In the 8th round, the fiercest warrior in boxing history turned his back and walked away.
Said no more. And then he did it a second time.
I don't understand.
He's saying no, he quit.
I don't understand it.
I think Duran quit.
I don't understand it.
Duran has quit. Roberto.
Respect for him as far as a man's concerned. I respect him as a fighter. Don't get me wrong. I respect him as a fighter and as his accomplishments, his credentials. But as a man, I cannot.
The legacy was shattered in an instant. The media eviscerated him. Fans called him a coward. The animal had retreated and the boxing world turned its back on Panama's hero.
Duran, after the Nomas fight, became a pariah. He was despised by most of his countrymen.
Most men would have stayed down, but Roberto Durán was built in the slums of El Chorrillo. He needed redemption. It came against the young, undefeated Davey Moore.
Davey Moore?
Davey Moore. Yeah. To come back after the No Mas and everybody was like, he's on his way out, and then do what he did. It just, that right there was inspiration for me. Like, man.
In a brutal, systematic destruction, Duran reclaimed his respect, knocking Moore out in the 8th round. When he finally hung up the gloves in 2001, his record stood at 103 wins and 16 losses. He is and will always be the greatest lightweight to ever walk the earth. He was the animal that refused to stay caged. Was the No Mas fight a moment of weakness or the smartest move of his career? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to Celebrate Men for more golden era boxing stories. See you in the next one.